Okay. I don't know how to feel at the moment. Started a little bit later than I expected, but I don't know. I guess we'll be chilling. We're just hanging. As much as I would like to hop over to Genshin, it's really been just a waiting game. I mean, I could be able to get my bounties and requests out of the way, so that will be, so we don't have to worry about those anymore. It gives me something to do. They really need to work on that. Like, we can't just beat the same monsters over and over out of our own amusement and boredom. It eventually just gets stale, you know? Hey, what do you know? I got a lot of bones. Actually, hold on a second. Earn from verses. Oh! Okay, okay, okay. Hold on a second. There's a lot of pretty neat skins here, actually. Probably go ahead and get the Barbarian and the Berserker. Feels pretty worth it for the skins. There we go. Ah, shoot, never mind. Came in way too late, Maffy. Way too late. A split minute late. However, I do have it for the viewership. I literally just started, so I literally don't know what I'm doing. Yeah, blame the delay all you like. Well, they're still available for another day, 17 hours, though. That's the thing. These skins won't be here for a bit, unless they will actually reset that. Well, it's not like I could take back my bones anyway, unless I can reach out to... Unless I can actually get them back. Oh, what can you do? I already like sent in my bones. It's not like they'll give me back the bones for spending them. Well, at least you're not the only one eating snacks. Yeah, that's what my avatar looks like when I'm leaning to grab some snacks. Yeah, we've already spent the bones. I mean, you may blame the delay, Maffy, but you're also eating chips, so Otherwise, you could be eating chips with chopsticks. You never know. I never even spent a lot of bones before. Unless I've already spent like a lot of bone chests only to get like, what, one skin? Like, literally the Epic Nightmare Paladin is the only skin I got. Hold on, I haven't checked the scrolls yet. Did I check the scrolls yet? There's so many warriors. But I need to save to level up like everybody who's not level 10 yet. Got it, Maffy, got it. Well, it won't make much of a difference anyways, because, well... I mean, I could reach out to, like, support and get those bones back. I don't know if they will actually comply and give me the bones back. It's too late now. This is just troubling. I've already had to like go through a bunch of different emails and stuff because I had to spend a bit of extra time to get support for a mobile game I could not reset my password to. I want to play on a different device, but the person on the other end is not getting the point that I want to play on a different device. Like, I can play on my current phone now, but what if I want to BlueStacks it? Oh my god. I've just been having quite a session of doing things by myself after I woke up. So my brain is completely fried right now. A dungeon mode that you can get bones with? Well, as long as we can get bones that way. Honestly, here's the thing. Would you rather actually gamble on a loot box to try to get this, or just get it guaranteed? It's a matter of investing time versus actually investing whatever currency you got. So it's the same thing with gacha games. That some people would rather spend the money than spend the time to grind dailies to do their gacha pulls with. Same logic. Yeah, I suppose we could do bounties and dailies today. Bounties, dailies, all that good stuff. What is this? Monster Melee? Hold on a second. I think I could boost a Templar on this map. Yeah, there's a lot of undead. I could just boost a Templar. I mean, true for that. But we're not losing anything here. We're not losing our own time at the moment. It's just free currency, so we can always get it back. I'm looking at social media and I'm like noticing, why is it always the people who play the multiplayer shooters who have an interest in liking and favoriting my social media posts? I'm not a multiplayer shooter game person, yet I don't get it. I mean, even if you do have a guess, Matthew, it would be as good as mine. I think I'll go ahead and pop up some YouTube in the meantime. I've been binge watching stuff on Netflix and other things lately. I feel like the more popular YouTube channels just growing artificially. Mostly because even if it's just one video that blew up, anything I upload on that channel now just doesn't get as much traction as the most popular video. It's like I don't understand how YouTube works anymore. It's just mentally exhausting, which makes me physically exhausted as well. So I just hop over on Twitch to actually unwind with everybody. Yeah, you're not wrong about that, James. Not wrong about that. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and pop open YouTube for a bit. I need to look for some inspiration. You know, I just realized every time they do a character demo, they always like to do a version of the Mondstadt combat theme for some reason. No idea why. They just happen to do the Mondstadt combat theme, like different variations of it for some reason. I have no idea why. I literally have no idea why.
My name is Yanfei, top legal expert in Lila, and for the avoidance of doubt, no one else comes close. I'm fully versed in every area of the law. I'll remind you again. The law can be both a help and a hindrance. Only by adhering to the law can the people solve life's myriad of problems. Yeah. Yeah. Ha. Yeah. Incinerate! Yeah. Yeah. Time for your arraignment! Anyway, my point is, you can always rely on me.
They clearly know how to market to people. They clearly know how to market the game to people nowadays, in this day and age. Ay. Oh yeah, I've been watching my, I honestly really don't know what to actually, honestly don't know what to make for content video for Genshin Impact anymore. There's just so... The expectations to be had and how well like other people's videos are doing is just... It's taxing. But she's okay. I guess she's adorable. But the thing is though is that she's an okay character. I'm sure Eula's a lot more hyped, but I'm not really going to be going after every single character in the game. People are always drawn into the way that you probably will have to, go after every single gacha character in a gacha game. It's not always the case, though. You don't really have to. Anyways, I want to actually go ahead and find some more videos to get some inspiration from. Baking soda? I use baking soda in well, baking, but on meat?
Thanks Keeps for sponsoring this video.
Start spending on refreshes instead. Oh, come on, James.
These are what I like to call $1 steak. As you can see, sometimes you get lucky and you get nice marbling between them. I'm just joking, because these steaks come from the cheapest roast there is, and I'm talking about the eye round. Me and this cut of meat are not friends. I've done so many experiments with it, and for good reason. You see, the problem with this cut right here is that it is very tough. However, it's also extremely flavorful, so my goal is always to get it as tender as possible, and I have done some crazy experiments with it. Make sure you check that out on the description down below later on. But once I remove all of the silver skin and cleaned it up, you can see I ended up with some beautiful steaks. That is perfect for today's experiment because we're gonna try to tenderize this with baking soda. Now if that sounds weird for you, let me explain. Chinese restaurants all over the world have been using this technique for decades. If you ever had beef and broccoli, most likely you had baking soda too. That's because they claim that it makes the steak a lot more tender. Well, today we're gonna put that to the test 100%. And my goal at the end of this video is to really find out if baking soda is a true tenderizer for steaks. This is the baking soda tenderizing experiment, so let's do it.
I mean, it's possible.
And here we have the star of the show, baking soda. To be more specific, sodium bicarbonate. The most interesting thing about this is that people use it for many different reasons. I mean, did you know that if you mix this in water, it is great for plants? Yes, it can be plant food. That is something I was not expecting. And believe it or not, it can also be a great deodorant. Yes, some people use it for that reason. That's crazy. I know use it in the refrigerator. It keeps the bad odor out. And trust me, I have quite a few experiments I do. So that one I know it works. With all that being said, now that I have my beautiful steak, it's time to start this experiment. And since I have quite a few of steaks, I started by separating them in steak plates. And most importantly, so I do not confuse which steak is which, I also labeled every single one of them. This way we will make our experiment much easier and you will be able to follow every step. The very first one is gonna be the control. This one will have nothing but salt on it. You see, this is something I like to do that it's called dry brine. And even though it has a fancy name, it's very simple. You basically season your steak with salt, put it in the refrigerator overnight so that the salt can penetrate nicely and deeply into the meat. This also tenderizes the steak a little bit. And at least to me, it is the best method to have steaks. Now for the baking soda steak, I did the same exact thing. But instead of using salt, I only used baking soda. I also ensured that the steak was nicely covered, but at the same time without overdoing it. We don't want to put 15 pounds of baking soda on it. And like I always said, I did add it to both sides. As you can see, a nice thin layer is the way to go. Now the only thing left to do is to leave this one in the refrigerator for 4 hours. Now the very next one, we're gonna combine both things. And basically this is how it works. I first added the baking soda. Then I threw in some salt. You know, if you leave the steak for a while, moisture will come out because of the salt. However, now that moisture is gonna mixed up with the baking soda. And once that's done, it will penetrate back into the steak.
This is interesting.
That is basically what osmosis is. Now, is this gonna have a much better penetration than the baking soda by itself? Well, we're gonna find out real soon. Because now the only thing left to do is to let this rest on my refrigerator for 4 hours. Once the time was up, I took out the control and take a look at this. This red color is a sign that the salt penetrated in the meat, and you can still see the osmosis process underneath. We know this works, and that's why this one is the control. Here's the baking soda by itself. As you can clearly see, there's almost no sign of baking soda anymore. It also gave a nice red color to the steak. But most importantly, when I hold it in my hand, it feels soft. Yes, a little bit more tender. And it seemed like the fibers of the steak is separated. That is a wonderful thing. The only thing I have concern is the taste. I don't know about you, but I've tasted baking soda before and it does not taste that great. But that is to be determined real shortly. As you know, we still have this one left, the baking soda and salt. And as you can see, the salt did its job. However, you can clearly see a little bit of baking soda left. So it seems like it did not penetrate as much as the baking soda by itself. But surprisingly, this one feels even more tender. If I had to give a scale from 1 to 10, control would be 0. The previous one with baking soda only, I would give it a 5. But this one I would give it an 8. It seems like this thing is working. Actually, it's working quite a bit. But now the next thing to do is to make sure I wash it all off. Hopefully this will take out that weird flavor from the baking soda. If you don't wash it off, I already know it's gonna be terrible. Because when I tell you baking soda tastes bad, it does. I made sure to rinse every single steak. And of course also pat it dry. As I'm doing this, I am totally aware that I'm also removing a little bit of the salt. And that's all good because the salt did its job. So I went ahead and re-seasoned both experimental steaks. The control one, however, there was no need for salt. To season them, I added in all of them a good amount of black pepper and garlic powder. Because as you already know, that is my favorite seasoning. But now that we got them perfectly seasoned, the only thing left to do is to go ahead and cook them. And for that, I'll be first putting a beautiful sear on them using butter. Once that's done, I'll be cooking them in indirect heat until I reach an internal temperature of 135 degrees Fahrenheit. Once that's done, it's time to taste. So now I say it is enough talking and it is time to cook them. So let's do it.
Alright, let's take a look. Yeah, the control's gotta be the toughest because that's a tough cut of meat. Like, only roasting or braising it can make it tender, but this cut is very tough. Well, that's the point, Maffy. It almost looks like Wagyu. Almost.
Before moving forward, I want to thank today's sponsor, Keeps. Since I started the channel, my nephew Angel has rocked 250,000 different types of hairstyles. And if he wants to keep that up and prevent hair loss, this advice is for him and you. Keeps, for sponsoring this video, head to keeps.com/GugaFoods to get 50% off your first order of hair loss treatment. All right, everybody, here we have our beautiful steaks, Mama. Are you hungry?
Starving. This thing smells amazing.
It does smell fantastic. We obviously have an experiment when you see 3 steaks like this.
That goes without saying.
Well, you're already used to. I don't need to tell you that we have an experiment, everybody. That's what I love to do, everybody. I love to learn new things. And I'll tell you one thing. Every single experiment I do, even if it's a fail, I learn something new.
Yep.
You agree, Mama?
I agree.
Okay, so here's the deal. Today, we are testing tenderness. That's all I care about.
Okay.
And if there's an off flavor, because, well, I'm not going to say anything, yes?
Of course, there's gonna be an off flavor.
Mau Mau is already sweating bullets, and I like it. Okay, let's go for the very first one, okay?
Okay.
Oh, ooh. Oh, I even got a hiccup on that one. Wow. Huh? That one felt like a shoe leather, Mau.
Yes.
I see you even went for a small piece, huh, Mau, after you...
No, I don't want to be here chewing gum for an hour.
Very first one. Cheers, everybody. Even though it was hard when I spoke it, it's not that bad.
No, it's not that bad. It tastes amazing.
But you still chewing?
It feels soft when you chew, but it doesn't break apart. So you have to keep chewing it. And chewing it.
Yes.
And chewing it.
And then a little bit more after that. The flavor is phenomenal, everybody. I would say that this is a very tasty steak. It's just tough.
When you bite it, it has a nice give.
Yeah.
It's just the fibers are not breaking apart.
I agree. That's what you get when you eat an eye round, Mama. That's an eye round. Huh?
It's softer than the usual eye round.
It is a little bit softer than the regular eye round, and that's probably because I dry brine it. You know what I mean? Every time you dry brine it, it gives a little extra and makes your steak better, everybody. I'm telling you, if you're not using the dry
Did you just
brine
say
technique, do it. Let's go for the second one, Mama. So you probably can tell that one is our control already. And you're still chewing. Now look at Mama. You're still chewing. So that's our control. If any other ones is more tender than that, I want to know. But most importantly, if there's a weird flavor, yeah?
Okay.
Cheers, everybody. Huh. What do you think, Mama?
Were these 3 from the same piece of meat?
Same piece of meat, same roast.
That one is weird because this one was soft when you chew, but the fibers didn't break it. That one is tougher when you chew, but the fibers break easier.
So you would say that it is more tender.
It is more tender.
I agree 100%. It is more tender, but I will say this. It has a different flavor. Can you tell?
Yeah.
I'm not happy with this flavor.
That's why I asked if it was the same, because it didn't taste like
It didn't
the same
taste.
steak.
Yeah, I'm not happy with this little bit different flavor. How do you like it?
It's not the best.
It's not. I know. I would say this is a much more tender steak, but overall, I prefer to eat that one because the taste is
I
better.
prefer chew a little bit more than that flavor.
You prefer chewing a tastier steak than a softer steak, right, Mama? So that's what happened with this one. And if you ask if it is more tender, absolutely.
It is more tender.
It is more tender. Yes, it is. Okay, this one here. You ready?
All right.
I mean, it feels weird, right? When you stab it,
feels a little weird.
they're just so not tender, right? It's crazy. Very last one. Cheers, everybody. More tender. But I can't. Do you feel that flavor? Or is it just me?
I feel the flavor.
You feel the flavor, right?
Yeah.
That flavor is weird, everybody. That's a weird flavor, man.
Wow.
I don't enjoy that flavor whatsoever.
No, it takes the beefiness from the steak.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what it is, everybody. If you ask me, does it work? Is it more
works.
tender, Mama?
It is more tender.
Absolutely. It is more tender. But I am going for the first one because the flavor of the first one is amazing.
I was going to say this one feels like a mix of these two, because this one is soft but it doesn't break apart. That one breaks apart but it's not that soft. That one is soft and breaks apart and it has a weird taste.
Mama, give you a fight. Damn, Mama, you're becoming a steak, a steak expert, everybody, because you're right on the money. Here's the deal. This is the baking soda experiment for tenderizing. I added a little bit of baking soda. I know it sounds weird, but hey, don't be alarmed because you know when you go to Chinese restaurant and they make that chopped up beef, beef with broccoli and stuff,
Yeah.
they always put a little bit. So it's not like out of the ordinary.
No.
You know what I mean?
We eat stuff with baking soda all the time.
Yeah, but hey, guys, it puts an off flavor to the steak, man. I'm telling you right now, I do not enjoy that steak. But in regards to, does it work? Does it work?
It works.
It works. It makes the steak more tender. At the same time, I will be going back for the first one.
That first one was the best.
Oh,
The first one, oh
God.
my God. It's chewing though. It's like a chewing gum.
Just a little bit more.
Or you're probably losing like 10 more calories just by chewing with your mouth.
There you go.
Hey, you got to make up some way somehow.
It's
You
a
know what I mean?
workout. Maybe if you're gonna put a sauce on it,
That's probably why
Like
they
a
do it in the
gravy?
Chinese restaurants.
yeah.
Yeah.
Then it can cover the flavor of
You
the steak,
cover the flavor.
and you'll cover that too.
Yeah, if you cover the flavor, it will be good. But if you're doing as a steak for a tasting steak, an amazing grilled steak, it just doesn't work. It doesn't work whatsoever. But it does make the steak more tender. Let's be clear. Let's give it up where the credit is due. Yeah, Mama?
Yeah, it
There
does
you
work.
go. It does work. Anyway, guys, these are the results. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you do enjoy it, make sure to give it a thumbs up. If you're not a subscriber, be sure to subscribe for future videos. Remember, if you are interested in anything I use, everything's always in the description down below. Thank you so much for watching. And as you guys can see, Mama enjoyed this one. It tastes better. Guys, I much rather have a much more wonderful tasting steak than a softer steak that tastes off. Look at my still chewing up. Guys, thank you for watching, and we'll see you on the next one. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.
Well, actually, I do want to watch the next video because sparkling water, that is something I like to drink. And, it's sparkling water is something I like to drink. And, what is it? The fact that you decide to use it on steak is also something very surprising, too. So, the thing is with baking soda is that it can work. It's that, what is it? Baking soda can work, but the main thing is that I guess what he's saying is right. You do need to cover up the piece of meat, I guess. So I guess that's what can happen. We got a few minutes left of the battlefield, but I'll go ahead and get the next video started.
This is the cheapest roast money can buy. It is called an eye round. The reason it's cheap is because it's a working muscle and it's not tender whatsoever. Now, in order to transform this to $1 steaks, the first thing we need to do is to trim it. As you can see, it comes with a lot of silver skin and unwanted fat. So I like to go ahead and remove all of the stuff we do not like. Once I was done, this is what it looks like. Even though I remove most of the fat, we always gotta leave a little bit in. And that is for good reason. Because once I remove the point and I take a cut of my very first steak, take a look at this. And that is why we call this the $1 steak. Let's just say it is as bad as it gets. But my goal is to transform this steak into something incredible. And I've actually been doing quite a few researches in order to make that happen. To say that I'm obsessed about it is an understatement. I've even inserted $100 worth of Wagyu fat in it. And if you have not seen
You
that
forgot to
video, you
tenderize
should
the
check it
meat.
out. I've also tried tenderizing it with many different things. Mechanical tenderizing? Yes, you got it, I've done that. Using the enzymes to tenderize the meat? Oh yeah, I have done that as well. And even though the results were not that great, the winner of all of them was always the pineapple. You see, pineapple has something that it's called bromelain. And what that does is that it breaks down the fibers of the meat, making it extremely tender. We went even as far as to see if it will completely disintegrate a steak. And let me tell you something, it did. But with all that being said, I have heard that a 3 Michelin star chef has been using sparkling water. Supposedly this makes the steak as tender as possible, even beating enzymes from fruits and everything else. Now, does this work? Well, we're gonna find out right now. So after choosing 3 steaks for our experiment, the only thing left to do is to go ahead and pour the sparkling water on the steaks. And I mean, I was not cheap doing so. I added the whole thing. And what's incredible to watch is that the sparkling water seems to penetrate the meat. All these little bubbles, I don't know if it's doing something, but it looks extremely cool. Imagine being able to tenderize steaks with just sparkling water. Well, that will be wonderful if it works. From what I've heard, it only takes 1 hour to do so. Now there's nothing else to do but to throw them in the fridge. By the way, I went ahead and did the same exact thing to put it against our champion, which is the pineapple. We already know that letting steaks marinate in pineapple for an hour will definitely do the job. And I'll be putting this one against the sparkling water to see if it really works. Now the only thing left to do is to let this hang out on the fridge as well. That's perfect because it allows me time to go ahead and make an awesome side dish to go along with these steaks. And this one is from Argentina. I mean, take a look at this. The first thing to do was to go ahead and cook the fries. And for that, I'd just like to use the frozen pre-made ones. It makes the job a lot faster, and at least to me there's no difference in taste. Putting them on my oven and baking it at 450 degrees Fahrenheit for 20 minutes does the job. But now for the toppings. I started with a good amount of butter into the pan. Threw in a little bit of onions and cooked them until they were fully caramelized. Going nice and slow is the way to go. If needed, always remember to deglaze the pan with a little bit of water, because once you're done, you should be left with something like this. This is nice and sweet and perfect for our fries. The next thing to do is to add some type of protein. Since I had Spam laying around, I went ahead and threw into the skillet. Just fry them up for a little bit until I get a nice color. Now I don't know if you know, Spam is quite salty, so make sure to back off on the salt a little bit with all of the other ingredients. Talking about that, the next thing to do is to go ahead and make some scrambled eggs. So into a non-stick skillet, I threw in all of my beaten eggs, followed by the Spam and of course the caramelized onions. I mixed it well and cooked it until it was fully cooked. Once that was done, the only thing left to do is to go ahead and plate it all up. So I first started with the fries, followed by the scrambled egg mix we just made, a little bit of extra cooked Spam, then I finished it off with a good amount of Parmesan cheese and a little sprinkle of parsley. Now that is what I'm talking about. It is absolutely delicious. I mean, we all know steak and fries are the best. We also know that eggs and steaks are also the best. So you get the best of both worlds. But now that we have our side dish ready, our steaks should be fully marinated. And after 1 hour, I took it out of the fridge, give it a nice rinse to make sure I removed all of the pineapple that was left behind. And once I was done, take a look at this. It lost its red color. That is totally normal, and every time I've used pineapple to tenderize steaks, this happens. But now let's move into the sparkling water steak. And after exactly 1 hour also, this is what it looks like. Check out the color of the water, but most importantly, is it
interesting.
tender. As I removed it from the water, it almost looks identical to the pineapple steak. I mean, is it the same? It sure looks like it. When I picked it up with my hand, oh wow! The fibers are completely separating. It also feels extremely tender on the hand. That is insane. I can't believe that this was just sparkling water. The fibers are completely separating apart. That got me super excited. But now the most important thing is how will we pair up with the other two? As you can see, I have the control steak, which looks beautiful. The sparkling water right in the middle looks totally white. And the pineapple, oh well, let's just say I know it does its job. The only thing left to do is to go ahead and season them. And for that, I kept it very simple. A little bit of salt, followed by freshly ground black pepper and garlic powder. Nothing else. I really want to know the flavor of these steaks. And keeping the seasoning simple will make sure I get there. But now that I got them all fully seasoned, the only thing left to do is to go ahead and cook them. And the first thing to do is to put a nice beautiful sear with some butter. Once that's done, I'll be cooking them in indirect heat until I reach an internal temperature of 135 degrees Fahrenheit. So now I say it is enough talking and it is time to cook them. So let's do it.
This is going to be interesting.
All right, everybody, here we have our beautiful steaks and a nice side dish. Are you ready, Angel?
Side dish looks amazing, but I don't know when you have 3 separated steaks. They're not on a board. They're
Hey,
separated.
See, that's what happens. He's been with me in a while. He knows there's 3 different steaks. He knows something is up, and you're right. Something is up.
I'm
all right?
excited for at least one of them.
One of them's gonna be good.
One of them.
We're gonna find out which one is
Something-
good. So
Something has to work.
we're testing tenderness. That's what we're testing. All right. So I want to know which one is more tender. All right. So let's try the first one right here. I see you cutting it already. How tender is it?
It's whatever.
Not that
Okay.
tender.
Not by the cut.
Not by the cut. Oh boy. This is already starting to be a great experiment. Are you ready?
Oh God.
Cheers, everybody.
Tastes good though.
Tastes good, but
It's good. Not the most tender steak.
no. Is it like a shoe leather or something or so?
Tampoco, like, it's not that crazy. It's not like insane bad, but pretty not tender.
It's pretty chewy.
Yeah.
It is. Oh man, I'm still chewing it. It's like
But the flavor is nice.
it has a nice flavor because it's a nice working muscle. You know what the kind of steak this is already. What is it? You tell me. I know you know. Come on. Oh my God, that was all for the chewing? That was how hard it was to swallow it? Check it out, everybody. That's a repeat right there. You were like,
I had to get it down, dude.
but I'm still chewing. I would give it a rating of 0 on the tenderness.
No, yeah, it's pretty
Yeah?
bad.
All right, so let's go ahead and try the side dish to clean our
Cleanse
pans.
the palate.
Correct. Cheers, everybody.
Cheers.
I mean, it's potato, eggs, a little bit of ham, a little bit of Parmesan cheese. It's amazing. What do you think, Angel?
That's a winner.
Yeah, it's a nice combination for the steak. You know what I mean?
Yeah, very nice.
Side dish, phenomenal.
Of course.
I am curious to find out how this one is. Oh,
Okay,
huh? What happened there?
that was a good one.
There was just a one slice.
That was a little bit better than the last one. I'm not gonna lie, the last one was a little bit harder to cut.
That one you had to sew a
That
little
one
bit.
this one I went, ooh,
Yeah, okay.
whang, that's it.
Yes.
The last one I was like,
Exactly. All right, let's give this one a try. Cheers, everybody.
Cheers. Oh, that's way softer. This
Yeah.
is a pineapple right here.
He knows about the pineapple. You ate it all already, dude. Damn, man. I think the thing is that we did so many experiments with pineapple already. You know already by heart without even having to do anything. However, let me be very, very clear. It is nice and tender more than this one. But by no means is this a ribeye steak, everybody. It's just a more pleasant tenderness. Agree? Are you still chewing? So how did you know how to recognize that steak right away like that, huh?
The pineapple, when you do it, it has
It has a unique flavor.
a little flavor to it that you can kind of like detect.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, it leaves the steak like feeling a certain way.
Yeah. I'm excited to find out how this one is going to taste. At the same time, I want to know about the tenderness, taste, and everything. This third one right here, ooh, we're going to find out right now. Are you ready? I'm excited.
Cheers.
Cheers, everybody.
Tastes like something.
Tastes different, but at the same time, I enjoy that.
Okay, the tenderness is a little bit soft.
Yeah. I
Soft,
think
like
it's actually more tender
hold
than
on.
the pineapple.
This is the control, yeah?
Yes, correct.
Okay, so it's definitely more soft than the control by a long shot, like a lot.
Yeah.
So if you're going off of does it work? Yeah, it works.
It
It's
works as
softer.
in regards to tenderness.
But it's like it makes the pepper taste stronger.
Really? So
Is
it
that-
like enhances
go-
the flavor?
Of the pepper.
Yeah,
'Cause
yeah,
I
yeah.
felt the pepper big time.
You felt the pepper big time? Try
Yeah.
another slice. Try another slice.
A little tiny slice.
I will tell you one thing. This steak right here, surprisingly, is more tender than
Yeah,
the
that's what it
pineapple
is.
to me. I mean, if we're talking about slightly difference, everybody, not that huge of a difference.
It's like
It's-
we're being very picky.
Yeah,
And very picky with very tough cuts.
correct. So, to be clear, the pineapple gives a wonderful flavor that Angel enjoys it. This one here does have a different, unique flavor, but at the same time, if we are just talking about tenderness, it does feel more tender. I'm very shocked that it actually worked as good as the pineapple. By the way, I just put sparkling water over here. That's it. It's just sparkling water. So to answer the question, does the sparkling water actually work?
It works.
Yes, it does. It
It
does
works.
work, and it does leave your steak a little bit more tender. And at the same time,
It leaves you with a little bit of a pepper aftertaste.
I think what happened was because I used a sparkling water that was lime. It wasn't just like plain taste. So I use a lime sparkling water. That could be something as well.
But lime has nothing to do with pepper.
I know, but I
And
don't
it
know.
tastes
Maybe
like
it
the
changed or
pepper
something.
is
The
like
paper,
hitting.
yeah, the paper is really.
No, not the paper. The
The
pepper.
pepper, that's what I mean.
Yeah, the pepper.
You got it right, but that's what I mean. The pepper is a little bit more stronger. Anyway, guys, these are the results. I hope you guys enjoyed this
interesting.
video. If you do enjoy, make sure you give it a thumbs up. If you're not a subscriber, be sure to subscribe for future videos. Remember, if you are interested in anything I use, everything's always in the description down below. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you guys on the next one. And yes, the sparkling water,
It works.
it works. See you guys on the next one. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.
Hey, what's up, Leon? Hope you're doing well. Hope everything's been okay. Oh, shoot, I got an epic ready. Oh, shoot. What do I want to do with my epic now? Let's go ahead and do the Stream Raiders battle first, since we're mostly waiting on this. And I see you, Horizon, I see you. Just 3 units on the battlefield? Yeah, we're not gonna survive with 3 units alone. That's not possible.
Bruh.
Alright, we're gonna have to start that all over because we only had 3 participants and I don't know where everybody else went. I was pretty sure that we had people going in. We had a good 30 minutes, but I guess not. Huh, interesting. So they will refund the difference. Okay, that's something. I don't want to play an orc. I don't want to place an orc slayer yet. I think I'll put an orc slayer on this level, or maybe this. Yeah, the next level I'll put down an orc slayer. Honesty. Alright, let's go ahead and look at another video for inspiration, I suppose. That looks disgusting.
Thank you, Raid Shadow Legends, for sponsoring this video.
Ah, I gotta love Raid Shadow Legends.
This is MSG, also known as monosodium glutamate. Everyone that loves it always say that it makes everything taste better.
Niece and nephew, have you used MSG in your life? If you have job you hate, sprinkle MSG on there. You will be promoted to manager. If you get bad grade, sprinkle MSG on your exam. It will be A+++.
After Uncle Roger reviewed one of my videos, he really got me thinking. Does MSG really makes everything taste better? Well, that's what we're gonna find out today. Even if we have to sacrifice our taste buds, listen to this.
So Gua, I know you're giving me a lot of foods and stuff, but like, is there a reason for like my roof of my mouth feels a little bit numb, bro?
Uh-oh.
What do you mean?
You're good.
Uh-oh! What? Oh my god, I'm gonna die.
This is I put MSG on everything and here's what happened. And we're gonna start with something
boy.
strawberries. We all know what it tastes like, and under some circumstances it is delicious. But hey, let's add a little bit of MSG right on top. Let's see what my cousin has to say about it.
Wow. Big difference. There's not any sourness. It's a little bit extra sweet. It's extra juicy. My mouth is watering more. Big difference. This one is the winner.
That is a great start. And if you put MSG on strawberry, it's gonna be better. But now how about chicken nuggets? Believe it or not, it already has a little bit of it. These are chicken nuggets that you can find it in any McDonald's. We're just gonna go ahead and add a little bit more. And let's see if it makes any difference sprinkling it on top just like this. Here's what my nephew have to say about it.
This one turned a little bit like spicy. Yeah, this one has a different flavor. That's not salt. What's going on here, Gua? What is this?
Turned out spicy, huh? It seemed like it not only enhanced the flavor, but he actually modified it a little bit. Very interesting. How about a chocolate chip cookie? These are not homemade, they're just store-bought. And if MSG can enhance this one, just imagine what it can do for the homemade version.
Oh. This cookie tastes a lot better than that cookie. I'm gonna leave that one so you could try it, Gua. That cookie tastes a lot better than that cookie. Check it out.
After trying it for myself, he is absolutely right. Not only does it taste better, but it also seems like the taste stay longer in your mouth. It is definitely a plus. Moving on to the next one, we got French fries. This is just regular plain old French fries that you find it anywhere. And I'm wondering what MSG is going to be able to do to it.
They're not too different. Maybe this one tastes like it has a little bit more salt. I will eat the one with more salt though.
Even though he prefers the one that has MSG, there's not that much difference. So if you ask me, adding MSG did nothing to these fries. But now how about something completely different? We're talking about chocolate ice cream. Is it gonna be better? Well, let's see.
Did you save all the dairy just for me? I'm gonna be thinking about you later on tonight. Okay. Has a little extra flavor of like more milky and more chocolatey at the same time. You know what? Now it's getting salty. It's weird, but it's good. You know, like salted caramel, salted chocolate ice cream.
This one is extremely interesting because not only it enhanced the flavor, he also changed it a little bit. Totally unexpected. Talking about unexpected, how about some whiskey? Yeah, why not? At the same time, I'm only adding a little bit. That should do the trick if anything.
Alright, Mom. Next one.
Oh, what is this?
Smell it.
Ah, the Goga. The Goga got my back with my Jack Daniels here. Cheers. Woo! Wow, that's a nice one. Huh, okay, let's see this one. Yeah! Oh! Wow. that one went straight to the back. Oh! Ah, it has that taste. Whatever you put in taste, I can taste that on the back of my mouth. You know what? Actually, I think I need another one just to make sure that I got the right opinion.
Final verdict, Mom.
Original.
That's my cousin trying to get sneaky on me. The MSG did absolutely nothing to the whiskey. But now I want to try with something a little bit more complex with a lot of different elements.
Oh, that makes
How about
sense.
some Korean sushi? If you are unfamiliar with these, I'm going to show you how I make them. And here's my take on it. These are all the ingredients I'm going to be using. Remember,
Yep,
exact
that's
amount, always in
Korean
the description
maki
down
roll.
below for you. The first thing I like to do is to start up with some scrambled eggs.
Oh, give me a
Just
sec,
lightly
guys.
season them with a little bit of salt and freshly ground black pepper. The one important thing about making eggs this way is that you want to cook them all the way through. And that's because we're going to be adding it to the sushi, and if it's moist, everything is just going to become a big mess. As you can see, once I was done, this is what it looks like. And that is now ready. I wish I had a little bit of bread to eat with these eggs. Talking about that, how will bread taste with MSG? I got these little croissants and split one of them and add a little bit of MSG. I'm wondering if my nephew is going to be able to tell any difference. Hopefully it will make it better. Well, let's find out.
Nothing different here. I think this is the same.
Wow, no difference whatsoever with bread. But how about some Jamaican patties? I mean, yes, this one does have dough, but it also has some meat. Maybe that's what it was missing before. As you can see, I added a good amount. Let's see if my cousin can tell any difference.
They're the same. No difference. They're the same.
How can that be? Now I bet you were not expecting this from the Jamaican patty, and neither was I. Moving on to preparing our sushi, the next thing we gotta do is to prep our vegetables. And for spinach, I just blanched them on boiling water for a little bit. When I say a little bit, we're talking about 35 to 45 seconds, no more than that. To season them is very simple. Just a little bit of garlic paste and sesame oil does the trick. For a nice crunch, I like to use a little bit of carrots on this sushi. Talking about that, how will it taste with MSG? Well, let's find out.
Wow. Surprising. It tastes fresher and crisper. Tastes like a better carrot. But it does leave a little residual flavor in your mouth. But I'll take this one. Chop it up, put it on a salad. It's gonna be good.
Wow, MSG for the win in a carrot. But since bread and MSG did not have a good match, how about a cheeseburger? I'm talking about a good old plain cheeseburger from McDonald's. And yeah, I added quite a bit of it. Let's see if it's better.
Of course, it's gonna be
A
better.
little bit of something else going on. It tastes a little stronger. I don't know. That's all I got.
Here's where I'm making conclusions. If the food that you're tasting tastes good, it would taste better. But if it tastes bad, it's just gonna taste worse. Here, let's use this as an example. We got zucchini, and I'm talking about raw zucchini. Just sprinkle a little bit of MSG and let's see what happens. I'm telling you right now, my cousin is not a big fan.
Green stuff. Should have Angel try this.
Glad it wasn't me.
So zucchini. If anything is a little past due. Again, it changes the flavor, but in this case, it's not better. No, that goes. This one stays.
There you go. Even though he said he changed the flavor a little bit, it's just not better. Talking about vegetables, this is the next one I'm going to be using for our sushi. It's called pickled radish. And if you're making Korean sushi, you gotta have it inside. It is the only ingredient that is required. And it comes fully ready. All you gotta do is chop it up.
That's
If
true.
you've
It's
never
not
had
bad.
It, it's a mix
It's a pickle.
of sweet and sour. It's really good. And of course, there's no way you're going to be making sushi without rice. I've already shown how to make sushi rice on the channel before, and if you have not seen that video, make sure you check it out in the description down below. I'm going to leave a link describing how easy it is to make it. Talking about making it, homemade pizza always tastes good. But how about the cheapest one you can find? Can MSG bring this one here back to life? I mean, it looks horrendous. Well, let's find out what happens when you add MSG to a slice of pizza.
Of course, it's gonna be better.
This one just tastes like it has a lot more cheese. I'm gonna say that right now. This one tastes like cheesy cardboard. Okay? I must admit I'm not a fan of cardboard.
If you made it taste like more cheese, how about we just add it to cheese itself? These are little miniature Gouda, and I'm hoping that if I add a little bit of MSG, it's gonna become fantastic.
Oh, it's baby bell
Well,
cheese.
let's see what happens.
Something here. More pungent, like more towards, a little bit more like towards blue cheese. It tastes like. Yeah, something like that.
Which one's better?
I prefer the original one.
I bet you did not expect these results. Well, neither did I. It did not make it better. But how about good old apple? Just a tiny bit should be good enough, and let's see what happens.
Whoa. A lot of things happening here. Hold on. It's like some salt and sugar and some spices were added to the apple. That's crazy. Wow. This one is good, but it's kind of weird. I like my traditional apple.
What's going on with my MSG? Is it going downhill from here?
Before moving forward, I want to thank today's sponsor, Raid Shadow Legends.
Skip the sponsor. We don't need the sponsor up in here. Nobody's getting sponsored by Raid Shadow Legends here. Anyways,
To get right back to the video.
How about trying some MSG with Coca-Cola? Again, I'm adding a
Coca-Cola.
good amount to see if there's any difference. Hopefully, it's gonna make the Coke taste more cokey, if you know what I mean.
Koki.
Love that. Have one of those every now and then. I don't really taste anything different. I can't taste the difference here.
Absolutely no difference whatsoever. Maybe when it gets mixed with liquid, it does nothing. Just like the whiskey before, it did not do anything. But how about we try something weird? I'm talking about applesauce. Just a tiny bit is good enough.
The original is better. This one, I can tell that there's something on it, but it's missing flavor. Yeah, weird.
What in the world? It was supposed to make it better, not missing flavor. Well, that's the result. Well, now that we have all of this information, let's go ahead and finish our sushi. And for that, I'll be using crab meat. But not only that, we also need some steak. And for that, I have these two beautiful Wagyu steaks.
Wagyu?
Take a look at this marbling. That is what I'm talking about. You don't see the marbling? Well, let me slice it open to show you the inside a little more. Take a look at this. Now that is marbling, friends. Adding these pieces of Wagyu into the Korean sushi should take it to a whole new level. Talking about next level, I kept the seasoning very simple. A little bit of salt followed by freshly ground black pepper and garlic powder is good enough. And as always, make sure you season both sides and the edges. But now that we got it ready, the only thing left to do is to go ahead and cook them. And for that, I'm first going to be putting a beautiful sear. Then I'll be cooking them in indirect heat until I reach an internal temperature of 135 degrees Fahrenheit. Once that's done, the only thing left to do is to assemble the sushi and see if MSG can make it better. So now I say it is enough talking and it is time to cook these beautiful steaks. So let's do it.
That's gonna be flavor overload.
All right, everybody, here we have our beautiful surprise today, Mama. I got a present for you.
An extra surprise today?
Yes, it's an extra surprise. You tried a lot of different weird things today. Can you guess what you were trying?
Guessing you were putting something like MSG or something in
Yes, Mama, that's correct. To be specific. Cha-ching! You know what's interesting? Some things work great, and others just don't work.
Didn't work at all.
Yeah, so Uncle
some of them
Roger,
are
you keep
terrible.
saying that you sprinkle everything in MSG makes it better, huh?
Hey, I mean, the stuff that you're supposed to sprinkle on, it gets better.
Yes, I think what it is if the flavor is really good, it gets better. If the flavor is really bad, it just got worse.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
something like that.
Yeah. But some of the things were weird. Comment down below. Tell me what you guys think about it, everybody. I love to know. But now we got the surprise here for you, Mama Zane. Something you've been asking me for a long time. You ready?
I don't know what I've been asking for a
Open
long
it,
time.
Mama. Open it, Mama.
Korean sushi!
Yes, Mama. As a gift for Mama trying all those wild west stuff.
Oh my
Huh?
goodness. Oh yeah.
Mama's
Now I'm
ready.
excited.
But here's the deal. That has no MSG, okay? But we're gonna put a little bit of MSG and find out if
course.
it's gonna be good.
I forgot where I was for a second there.
Welcome to Guga Foods, everybody.
I'm picking here which one I'm gonna put the MSG on.
Oh, you're picking which one? The smallest one?
Smallest one.
What if it's better? Huh?
Then I can put on the other ones.
Fair enough, Amazi. Okay, let's go for it. Let's try the very first one. Cheers, everybody. Exactly what you were missing, Mama.
It's really good. I want to continue eating.
I know. For you guys that don't know, me and my mom used to be martial arts instructors for many years. And we always have this all the time together with our Korean masters. This is phenomenal, everybody. I highly recommend for picnics and other things. Now let's see if it's gonna make it better. You ready? You wanna put on the little one, Mama?
I ate the little one by accident, so that's the second smallest one.
All right, Mama. Just a little bit.
There.
We don't want to overdo it. That's the thing, you know. If you overdo it, then it's too much, everybody. You don't want to overdo it. Just a little bit is good enough. Let's see if MSG makes sushi better. You ready?
Good.
All right.
Well, it should.
Cheers, everybody.
Cheers.
Yes. Yes.
I'm processing this so I can describe it for you guys.
Definitely, it makes it better 100%. It just has more flavor.
It hastens everything. When you first put it in your mouth, the sweet radish is the first one that you taste,
Yeah.
and the sweetness just comes to the front. And then after that, you start to taste all the other, the crab, the eggs, and everything else, and all the flavors. They're all coming in one at a time, but like super enhanced.
I agree 100% with you, Omar Zing. Definitely. This is some magical stuff, everybody. Just please don't overdo it. You know what I mean? We
MSG,
tried this
magical stuff
experiment here
guaranteed.
so that you don't have to. Mama took
I'ma
it
quote
for
that.
the team together with Angel. He had to leave a little early today. That's why he's not here in the end of the video. By the way, oh, you put in more.
I'm putting more, but now I put too much, so I have to.
So you're gonna mix.
I have to share it over here. Share the love.
Just like everything, you do not put too much salt. If you put too much salt, it's going to be salty and completely unedible. And just put a little bit, everybody. Sprinkle a little bit of MSG and most of the things will taste good. Anyway, guys, these are the results. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you do enjoy it, make sure you give it a thumbs up. If you're not a subscriber, be sure to subscribe for future videos. Remember, if you are interested in anything I use, everything's always in the description down below. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you guys on the next one. Let me know in the comments down below if you want to do a version 2 of what else you want us to put MSG on it, because we'll try it.
No problem at all.
All right. See you guys on the next one. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.
Alright, let me go ahead and play another random video while I go ahead and grab another, Wait, hold on. Did Uncle Roger comment on this? Oh, of course Haydox commented on this. Of course this guy shows up. Of course he became popular over some random video. Ay. Well, let's look at the crispy fried chicken secrets video real quick.
Thanks AFK Arena for sponsoring this video.
Oh, it's AFK Arena this time.
Oh yes, I love me some fried chicken. But let's be honest, not all fried chickens are good.
Damn.
Some are nice and crispy. Others are wonderfully spicy, and a few of them is just terrible.
That one is caca.
So my goal today is to find out some of the secrets of crispy fried chicken. And hopefully by the end of this video, we are all gonna know how to make perfect fried chicken. So let's do it. These are all the cut of chickens I'm going to be using for today's video. Here we have 2 young full chickens that I butchered. Here's a good advice if you want to save money. The best way to do it is to butcher everything yourself. And if you've never done it, I know it looks intimidating, but let me tell you something. It is not complicated. It is pretty easy to do. And do not be afraid of it. The first thing I like to do is to start cutting up the drums. Then I flip it on its belly and work around the oyster, which is the back part. You should feel almost no resistance. Then I flip it back and remove the thigh and the leg. Now there's left to do is to do the same exact thing on the other side. And as you can see, not a big deal. Just make sure you have a nice sharp knife. Then I jump right into the breast. Start by making an incision in the middle and let the knife do the work. Just like Gordon Ramsay tells us. Make sure you stay as close as possible to the bone. And to remove the wings, it is not a big deal. Just find that little joint and remove it all out. That's what we call an airline chicken. It's basically the breast and the wings together. Now all you have to do is to do the same to the other side and separate each one of them as you please. And by the time you're done, this is what they shall look like. That is a fully butchered chicken. Like I mentioned, it is not a big deal and it's easy to do. And don't even think about throwing the carcass away because that we can use for stocks. But we're not going to be doing that today, as we're only going to be using nice large pieces for our deep fried chicken. So the first thing I want to test is which brine is better, only salt and pepper or the good old buttermilk. So to find out which one is best, we're going to put this to the test. I first started with the salt brine, and that's pretty straightforward. Just combine the salt and water together and make sure everything is dissolved. Throw your chicken in there and let it brine for at least 2 hours in your refrigerator. Now the next one is buttermilk. Now if you've never heard about buttermilk, I totally understand, especially if you live in other countries. But it is super simple and easy to make. And here's how. Start by adding a little bit of whole milk. As you can see, the consistency is nice and runny just like regular milk is. Then you want to throw in 3% of white vinegar and mix it well. As you can see, as you're doing this, it will immediately start to coagulate. And that is how you make buttermilk. And yes, here in the US, you can find it in every supermarket. To make it perfect, the only thing left to do is to strain it.
You can also
As
add lemon
see,
juice.
By the time I was done, you got buttermilk. Now, a lot of people says that this is the best way to brine a chicken. And I have done quite a few and I actually enjoy it. But I never put them side by side just like this. And hopefully we'll be able to determine which one is actually better. So after letting them marinate for 2 hours on my refrigerator, I took them out, fried them up, and it was ready to give it a try. And I know the perfect guy for it.
Cheers, I guess. Fried chicken, man. Can't go wrong with fried chicken.
Good? You like it?
No? Alright, now I go for this one?
Time for the next one. Go for it.
Alright, let's go. Alright. Oh, it's crunchy. Okay. Cheers. Oh, no. That one is caca. It's juicier, it's more tender, and it's more juicy. And I like it better, bro. This one's better. What the heck did you do, Gua?
That's just buttermilk. That's how it be.
Some good stuff.
There we go. Buttermilk is definitely the winner. So moving forward, I'll be using buttermilk for every single one of them. The next one for us to determine which one is best is either to use cornstarch or all-purpose flour or use both. And the whole idea about cornstarch is that it makes your chicken a way crispier. But hey, we're gonna find out if that actually works. So in the first bowl, I threw in 4 tablespoons of all-purpose flour. And in the middle one, I only threw in 2. Then I grabbed the cornstarch and added 2 tablespoons in the middle one. And of course, the last one, I threw in 4 tablespoons of cornstarch. To make things even for the flour and the cornstarch, I only seasoned them with salt, nothing else. So after adding a pinch of it in each bowl, it was time to dredge the chickens. And by the time I was done, this is what they look like. The very first one is 100% cornstarch. The one in the middle is 50-50. And the very last one is only all-purpose flour. Now there's left to do is to fry them up. And as you guys already know, cast iron is one of the best things to use because it will always retain its heat. I set the oil at 350 degrees Fahrenheit. And just in case you're wondering, I'm using vegetable oil. The main goal here is to have a nice crispy skin, so I kept flipping them to make sure everything was fully cooked. I'm looking for 165 degrees Fahrenheit internally, and of course a nice golden crispy skin.
I feel like the cornstarch one might be way too hard to break into.
Once they were fully cooked, this is what I got. I'm wondering if you can tell which one is which, because to my eyes they all look quite similar except for one of them. And I'm talking about this one, because this one is the cornstarch. And trust me, it is fully cooked. But hey, let's try it out and see which one is crispier. And the first one we're gonna go for is the all-purpose flour. And as you can see, it's nice and crispy. It's also juicy. And as I take a bite, yeah, that's a good chicken. It's crispy, juicy, tender, and some of the things that you definitely look for. But now in comparison, let's jump into the next one. Whoa, see if you can hear this. Much crispier. I think the cornstarch actually did something. Check out this crust. Wow, this thing is crispy. And even though I don't have perfect audio because I didn't have my mic, check out the actual audio. Oh yeah, it's almost like chicharrones. I would say that this is a nice improvement from the first one. And of course, it's perfectly cooked. And if you ask me which one is better, this one is definitely winning. Now the very last one, oh boy. See if you can tell me if you can hear this. Folks, that's a rock. I mean, it's almost impossible to cut. Check it out. It came completely off by itself. This is what we call way too crispy and just not a very good idea. Here's my recommendation. If you want to break your teeth, this is perfect for it because it is way too crispy and too much. So the 50-50 mix is definitely the winner.
Before moving forward, I want to introduce you guys to a new mobile game, AFK Arena. Download AFK Arena and build your dream team with 100 free summons.
The next thing I want to try is the good
That
old
game is not
MSG.
new.
To get a little bit more specific, we're talking about monosodium glutamate. And to use it, pretty straightforward. Just throw it a little bit in the flour, deep fry it, and let's see if there's really a lot of difference if you add some and if you don't. Here's what my nephew had to say about it.
Let's go for it, huh? This fried chicken, man, I think this one's as good as the last one you gave me. It's good. I like that crunch.
Second one.
Second one. Going for it. Oh, I like this one more, actually. This one, I don't know. The flavor kind of just is more powerful. It keeps going. That one, yeah, even when you swallow, it stays in your mouth. You feel this one a little bit more. I like this one.
It has more flavor.
More flavor on this.
There you go. As we all expected, MSG for the win. Now the very last thing I want to test out is to smoke it. Can we make deep fried crispy chicken even better by smoking it? There is only one way to find out if that's good or a bad thing. And at the same time, to add even more flavor, I'm going to be adding some spices into my flour mix. Of course, that's after adding 50% flour and 50% cornstarch. Remember, exact amount and ingredients always in the description down below for you. So I started with salt, followed by ginger, white pepper, garlic salt, black pepper, mustard powder, smoked paprika, dry thyme, dry basil, oregano, celery salt, and the good old MSG. Now all there's left to do is to grind them well with my pesto and mortar, and my spice mix is ready. This, my friends, is the good old KFC secret recipe. And if you've never had it, you definitely should. It is an iconic chicken fried recipe that everyone loves. But now all there's left to do is to mix all of my dry ingredients, and you already know the rest of the process. The only difference is some of them I'll be smoking it. And we're gonna find out if deep fried smoked chicken is good or not. So let's do it.
Well, this is going to be quite an idea.
All right, everybody, here we have our beautiful chickens. What do you think, Angel?
They look like the other ones that I ate today.
You've been eating a lot of chicken, huh?
At least this time you're here with me, man.
There you go. Sounds good. Okay, so we have actually another experiment, A and B. Find out which one is better. That's
Best
right.
for last?
Best for last, always. So,
Oh, hi.
all right. Enough talking. Let's give this a try. We'll go for that one and then the other one. Ready? Cheers, everybody.
Oh,
That's crunchy.
crunchy and juicy.
You heard that crunch, everybody? I hope you came through the camera.
Pretty good.
That is a juicy, juicy chicken. Very crunchy. Crispy. Very, very flavorful.
Yeah.
Hmm?
I agree with everything you just said.
It is one-
100%.
And I'll say one thing. Chicken is always good fried, right? Because if you like pan fry and stuff like that, it's still okay. But when you deep fry it, everybody, it's always better. Okay, you ready for the
Okay.
second one?
Let's go for it, man.
All right, second one. Cheers, everybody.
it. Oh,
Oh, that's different. Oh, that's way different. Mmm.
smoked.
Yep. Right away.
Mm.
Oh my God, that is amazing, everybody.
That's undeniable.
Wow. You can tell right away too, right? Smell it. You can smell it. Oh,
You just know as soon as you take the bite, you taste it.
I think I just might invented the best chicken in the world right here, everybody. When you combine some deep fried together with a smoke, it is phenomenal. What do you think, Andrew? You tell me.
What do you say? What do you say? This is the best one of the day.
That is the best one of the day. Wow. The interesting thing is that as soon as you take a bite, immediately you can tell this one is smoked because you have that smokiness hit you right in the palate, and
You just know.
also you can smell that smoke. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you smell it and you taste it real quick.
Yeah.
It's just all in your face. Boom.
Yeah. And at the same time, you can have that crispiness together with the fried chicken. It's like
It's
the best.
juicy. They're both juicy, but
It's
it's
like-
juicy. It's smoky. What else you need?
It's like the best of both worlds, right? Because we love smoked chicken, we love deep fried chicken. Combine them both, definitely the best chicken I ever had right here. You?
It's undeniable, bro. It's undeniable. It's like coming for you, bro.
Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you do enjoy it, make sure you give it a thumbs up. If you're not a subscriber, be sure to subscribe for future videos. Remember, if you are interested in any of the equipment I use, everything is always in the description down below. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you guys on the next one. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye. We out.
All right, let's go ahead and get into our Stream Raiders battle. Honestly, I feel like I'm just... I wanted to do some Ace Attorney, but I don't know. I'm just pretty drained today. I'm like very, very drained. Even if I do offline battles, I can't really guarantee that I got everybody doing offline with me, especially since it was just Leon and Maffey last time. Well deserved for the most kills. I'll take that. Well deserved. Actually, I think... Hold on a second. Where's the orc level? Okay, so this is the orc level. Mostly orc level. So I'm gonna go ahead and... Monster ambush. What shall I put down this time? Hey, thank you for the Nightmare Barbarian, Liam. I'm gonna go ahead and, I guess, place a Musketeer for now, I suppose. Alright. It looks like Joshua wants to show people off on his crispy fried chicken sandwich. Let's actually go ahead and watch this White Castle slider video and then the steak and eggs one, which both are interested in. Plus, I've grown up eating White Castle sliders, but mostly the frozen one. I never got into a White Castle place and have the homemade ones before.
And this is what we're making today. These are White Castle sliders. And nowadays you can find it in any supermarket on your frozen section. But if you are one of the lucky ones, you can go to the fast food restaurant and get them fresh. Unfortunately, they don't have it available in Florida. But as you can see, they have two versions, the hamburger one and the cheeseburger. Let me open it up and show you what they look like. Yes, these are 100% frozen, but if you take a look at inside, this is what it looks like. They have a thin patty of beef, which comes with their trademark of 5 holes. And obviously you can see there's a bunch of onions on top. And the instructions tell you to put them in the microwave for 60 seconds. Once I've done
These were
that,
my
I
introduction to
add the White
burgers.
Castle sliders. It is incredible how a little thing like this is so popular. I guess if you grow up eating one of these, you totally understand why. But this is one of those things that if you see it, it doesn't make a lot of sense. But hey, they are extremely popular. And as I take a bite, it brings back so many memories. But here's the deal, this one is the plain version. Let's not forget about the cheese version. And as I open the box, this is what it looks like. Exactly what you expected. The same exact thing without any difference, but with an extremely small piece of cheese on it. Man, it is absolutely ridiculous the size of this cheese. I would say the cheese is a huge upgrade. Nice, soft bun.
But the size of the cheese is underwhelming, and the type of cheese.
So let's do it. And the first thing we're going to work on is the beef. And as you can see, it is quite interesting. And if you want to have the same experience, you cannot skip this step. To make these patties, we need ground beef. And here's a quick tip, whenever you're freezing it, try to freeze it just like this. There are a few benefits. It takes less space on your freezer, it is easy to thaw, and most importantly, you will not have any freezer burn. And to make White Castle burgers, this is a big help, and here's why. I started by laying some parchment paper on the bottom. By the way, I am using 80-20. For me, that's a perfect ratio of beef and fat. The next thing you want to do is lay another parchment paper right on top. Using a roller, spread them out as much as possible. Because as you remember, and I just showed it to you, the patty is extremely thin. Once I was done, this is what they look like. I was aiming for a 1/4 of an inch thick, because as you know, as meat cooks,
I see, James, I see.
Now the next step might seem ridiculous, but it's actually quite important. You must make them the same size as your bun, but keeping in mind that they will shrink in the cooking process. So it is important to make them 1/2 inch larger so that they will fit your buns. To cut them square, I'm going to be using my pizza cutter, but in case you don't have one, a cleaver will work just fine, or a large knife, or anything that you have. Because we already measured everything, all we have to do is follow the guides. Try to be as precise as you can, but if you make a mistake, it is not a big deal. We're not building a rocket here, we're building sliders. The next part might seem absolutely ridiculous, but it is crucial to make this work. And it's those holes that I showed you in the beginning. And the whole idea is that the steam will come up through those holes and steam your bun. And at the same time,
Get it? Get it, guys? Get it what he says? Whole idea? Alright, I'm gonna stop.
time cooking your burger and caramelizing the onions. And for these sliders, they work perfectly. And to make them, I'm just using a chopstick. The only thing that you need is to have a lot of patience. As you can see, by the time I was done, this is what they look like.
Hi, how are
Put them
you?
on the tray because you have to freeze them. If
Hey,
you don't
welcome,
freeze
Drek.
them, this will not work. And make sure you put another parchment paper right on top. After 24 hours, I took them out and this is what they look like. As you can see, 100% frozen. Now all there's left to do is to break them apart. And the awesome thing about making them this way is that you can make a huge batch and have them whenever you're ready, because you must cook them from frozen. And I'll tell you one thing, they are extremely convenient.
I'm feeling
Now
hyped
let's
too.
talk about buns. If you don't wanna
Yo,
go the extra
King's
mile and
Hawaiian's
make your own
Pogs.
buns, this is a good option. It is the King's Hawaiian original buns. And let me tell you, they are awesome. But I know a lot of you don't have access to these.
They're very
But if you wanna
sugary,
make
but
them
very
nice and
delicious.
easy and quick, this is your best option. But to be honest with you, making them at home is even better. And I'm gonna show you my take on it. And these are all the ingredients I'm gonna be using. Remember, exact amount always in the description down below for you. We got all-purpose flour, butter, pineapple juice, sugar, milk, eggs, salt, and yeast. Now let's get this out of the way. I know you're gonna ask me, why are my eggs so small? And that's because I'm using quail eggs. And the only reason is because of quarantine. So the first thing to do is to mix all your dry ingredients. With your flour, throw in some sugar and the yeast. Mix it well and make sure everything is nicely combined. Then you want to combine all of the wet ingredients, starting with the milk and pineapple juice, followed by all of the eggs. Now if you have a mixer, this will make your job a lot easier. But I'll tell you right now, this recipe is a big one, because it's not worth making just 2 or 3. I like to make a big batch. And you're gonna see what happened to my mixer here. Yep, my mixer broke this day. And the worst part is that it's not even mine, it's my wife's. So yes, if you think I got in trouble, I did. So since the mixer was broken, I had to do it the old-fashioned way. You just gotta put in the work. The next step is to oil up the bowl so you can throw in your dough, as it needs to rise for 2 hours. And as you can see, after 2 hours, it is huge. That's a sign that you
Whoa, look at that yeast work. I made pizza dough before, but yo, this thing exploded. This thing literally just became
Extra thick!
Yo, like, I made pizza dough. This is what yeast does, but I have not seen yeast do this, guys. Like, literally, like, I've made dough before. I just never saw yeast do, like, this is the thickest piece of work that I've seen yeast do.
did everything perfect. Now you want to punch it down and make sure you take it out of the bowl so that you can start making your rolls. Make sure to oil the pan that you're going to be baking with. If not, everything is going to get stuck. Now all there's left to do is to start making the balls. If you want them to be the same
The
exact
balls.
size, I definitely recommend a scale. And you're shooting for a weight of 60 grams each. Once I was done, this is what they look like. The next step is extremely crucial. You can either leave them at room temperature to rise for 2 hours or let them rise overnight on your refrigerator. And the very next day, I took them out, removed the plastic, and this is what they look like. As you can see, they are ready to become
Big
White
dive,
Castle
save
style.
lives.
To make sure they have a nice golden brown color, you want to do an egg wash. And this is pretty straightforward. A little bit of milk, egg, and honey. Make sure you brush them good and get every single edge. And the next step is where I made a huge mistake. I usually make these in my Dutch oven, but unfortunately my sister-in-law had it, so I had to MacGyver this thing. And here's where I made a huge mistake. I threw in some aluminum foil right on top, because you don't want to bake them uncovered because they will burn. So after throwing them in the oven at 350 degrees Fahrenheit for 45 minutes, I took them out and this is what happened. Yes, they rose too high and got completely stuck on an aluminum foil. At this point, I was like, man, I should just make another batch. But I said, you know what? I must show you guys that everybody makes mistake. No one is perfect all the time.
You should have greased the
However, if
foil.
you think I'm gonna throw these away, you're absolutely out of your mind. But man, did it hurt my feelings? Yes, it did. So to finish them up, I threw in a little bit of extra egg wash and threw them back in for an additional 10 minutes. That will give me a nice golden brown on top because they are already fully cooked. Now the last thing to do is to melt the good old butter right on top. Because even though they are not the best looking buns I've ever made, I'll tell you one thing, they are the best tasting ones. Because if there's one thing that I would love for you guys to try from this video are these buns. They are just phenomenal. Now
These
let's talk about
buns.
onions. If you think White Castle use fresh onions, no, they don't. Believe it or not, this is what they use. Dehydrated onions. And here's the reason they use this one. Packs a lot of flavor, but most importantly, it has a very long shelf life. This allows the restaurants to have a bunch of them in stock. But the first thing that they need to do is to rehydrate them. And for that, it's pretty straightforward. Just throw them in the bowl with a little bit of water. Mix them well because they're gonna soak it all up. And of course, the last ingredient we're gonna be using is cheese. And you know the good old American cheese is the one to be used. But now that we have everything ready, all there's left to do is to cook them. And for that, White Castle uses a very unique technique, which I am gonna show to you how right now. So I say enough talking and let's make some White Castle sliders. So let's do it.
I really need to go to a White Castle before I die. But that's how they cook them. That's how they cook them.
All right, everybody, here we have our sliders. What do you think, Angel? Huh?
They tiny.
They're tiny, bro.
tiny.
I know we're used to smash burgers, but I'll tell you one thing. I mean, everybody in the world probably had a little White Castle, right? This is like White Castle, Angel.
Yeah, you put this in the microwave for 1 minute. And that's
1
good.
minute.
That's it. You're good to go. It's as easy as it gets. But I'll tell you one thing. Making the buns at home is different because as soon as I made it, this guy attacked half of them. He's like, oh, I want some of that. They are so wonderful, everybody. If you never made them at home, do it. Just the smell it. Like the bread smell is so wonderful. You know what I mean? It comes
I
through.
wonder what it tastes like.
You ready?
Let's go.
Come on.
Pretty damn good.
White Castle is good.
This is what it tastes like, yeah.
But homemade is so much better, though.
Yeah.
Do you agree?
Yeah.
It's the bread. The bread is everything. I'm telling you guys. It's so easy to make, though.
But it's like steamed, I guess, right?
Yeah, there's no brownish. You
So-
know what I mean? No caramelization whatsoever.
I would like some caramelization.
I know you know. I think it would be better if you like smash it, like you know, like a smash burger, and you get that brownness on that we really enjoy. This bun right here, everybody, with a smash burger. Oof! I'm telling you, that will be 10 times better. However,
I guess we gotta make that happen.
exactly. The secret of this White Castle is the buns, the onions, and the juices leak out from the bottom one. You see the bottom one is kind of
Yeah,
wet,
the bottom one is all like
wet up.
yeah. White Castle got some competition. How about that?
Anyway, guys, these are the White Castle sliders. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you do enjoy, make sure you give it a thumbs up. If you're not a subscriber, be sure to subscribe for future videos. Remember, if you are interested in any of the equipment I use, everything is always in the description down below. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you guys on the next one. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.
I mean, to be honest, that shouldn't really stop you from actually, that shouldn't stop you from doing some, like, legitimate cooking, though, because in all honesty, there's always a workaround no matter what. So, there's always some way to work around it. Let's go ahead and look at this very expensive that we're not going to be able to afford $750 steak and eggs experiment. I don't remember the last time I had steak and eggs. I did have at least steak and eggs at least once in my life. But even then, it was a typical diner platter that I honestly could just make myself.
Thanks to Bright Cellars for sponsoring this video.
Is that a wine brand?
This is the most expensive
course.
steak in the world. Yes, it is a Japanese Wagyu A5 grade. But not only that, it is Kobe beef, which is by far the most expensive steak in the world. And for good reason. Take a look at this marbling. I mean, this is not something you see every day. It is a marbling score 11 and 12, the highest grade there is. Eating a steak like this is something to celebrate. And because the quality of this meat, you want to keep it as simple as possible. You are paying for that flavor, and the last thing you want to do is put weird rubs on it. So I like to keep it very simple. A little bit of kosher salt and freshly ground black pepper. If you've never had this steak, let me tell you, it is very rich. And I always recommend eating it with something else. And for today, we're going to be pairing it up with eggs. I'm going to be making 4 unique eggs for us to give it a try and let you know which one is best. And some of them are delicious, others are just weird. This is the most expensive steak and eggs in the world, so let's do it. And the very first one we're gonna start off is this one. Let me tell you something, this is addicting. And to make it, it's super easy, and here's how. I first started by boiling my eggs. I like a runny yolk, so 6 minutes was good enough. Then I immediately transferred to a water bath. I know a lot of people have trouble peeling the eggs, but let me show you the easiest way for that not to happen. What I like to do is to first break the whole shell apart with a knife. Then I put it back in the water and let it soak for another 2 minutes. These little microscopic cracks that we just made allows water to go inside, making it 10 times easier to peel the egg. As you can see, they come out perfect every single time. You don't need to use a spoon or anything else. That is how easy it is. Now for the marinade. As always, remember exact amount and ingredients always on the description down below for you. I first started with a good amount of soy sauce.
Thank you for the Berserker, by the way, Matthew.
Then I threw in white onions, garlic, red bell pepper, brown sugar. I first started with a good amount of soy sauce, followed by some water.
Oh, just water.
I threw in white onions, garlic, red bell pepper, brown sugar, Korean chili flakes, and finished it off with green onions. That's how easy it is to make these wonderful eggs. The only thing left to do is to add your eggs and let them marinate on your refrigerator for at least 4 hours. Once the time was up, I took them out and take a look at this. The egg whites actually absorbs a little bit of that marinade. And to eat it, you can do it by itself or you can eat it with some sushi rice. I have already shown how to make this rice, and if you want to check it out, make sure you look on the description down below later on, because this is heaven on earth. I'm telling you, my friends, give this one a try. Now this next one here is even easier, and at the same time, take a look at it. I know it looks insane, but hey, never judge a book by its cover. And here's how to make it. The first thing we need to do is to break up some eggs. And if you're gonna do this recipe, I recommend you doing a bunch. Don't just do 1 or 2 because they are really good. Then you want to separate the egg whites from the yolk. And do not forget to remove that little germ as much as you can, obviously without breaking the yolk. Now the only thing left to do is to let them marinate on a mixture of soy sauce and vinegar. Now this container is okay to use, but as you can clearly see, it does not cover the whole egg yolk. So I recommend putting it in a cup because you will also use less soy sauce. We're just trying to make sure that every single egg yolk is covered with the marinade. Now the only thing left to do is to let it rest in your refrigerator for 4 hours. Once the time is up, I took them out and take a look at this. I mean, they don't look that appetizing, but you just wait
Sure thing,
and
Drake.
see how wonderful they actually taste. Especially when you pair it up with that sushi rice. Now the next one is weird. I'm talking about real weird. Have you ever seen anything like this? I mean, come on now. What is this, Halloween? And to make it, it is crazy easy, and here's how. The first thing we need to do is to separate the egg whites from the yolk. Now with the egg whites, we're gonna add a little bit of ink. Yes, you heard that right, but not any type of ink. I'm talking about this one right here, cuttlefish ink. And this thing, take a look at it. It is black.
Like the
real
pasta.
black. It also smells kind of fishy, so I'm wondering how is it gonna transfer to the egg whites. As you can see, this thing is as black as it gets. So the only thing to do is to go ahead and mix everything well until you get a nice black mixture just like this. I threw in a little bit of olive oil to my egg pan and first started cooking the egg whites. And as you can see, to my surprise, it did not come out that good. It's turning white. But I went ahead and continued to try to make this thing work. That's just by adding the egg yolk right on top. In my very first try, I was left with this. Take a look at that. That is not black. This is the whole problem right here. It was because of the foam. So if you're gonna try this out, make sure you remove all of the foam. And most importantly, add more ink, especially if you want it to come out real black. Once I've done that, I went ahead and started over. And as you can see, this is a huge difference. Now that is what I'm talking about. As it's cooking, it will turn slightly white. Do not be alarmed, because after you add your egg yolk, cook that up a little bit, you are left with some nice black eggs. Now that is something you do not see every day. And I'm wondering if the ink changed the flavor of this one. Well, we're gonna find out real shortly. Our very last one is this one. It is a cured egg yolk. And I'll tell you one thing, this thing is addicting. And to make it, it is super easy. You just need a little bit of time. Because the first thing you need to do is to make a 50% mixture of salt and sugar. Then you want to make some crevices with a spoon and add the yolks. One important thing you gotta remember is to make sure that you cover the whole thing with that mixture you just made.
I'm aware of this
Because once that's
method.
done, you wanna let it rest in your refrigerator
It's kind of a
for
clever one.
5 days. But once that time is up, look what you are left with. Perfectly cured egg yolk. Just wash it out in a little bit of water and take a look. Come on now. The only thing left to do is to dry them out as much as possible. And for that, you just want to put it in your oven at the lowest setting for about 1 hour. Because once the time is up, take a look at what you're left with. Put this in anything and it will make it taste better. Now the only question is it gonna make a Japanese Wagyu A5 steak taste better than it already does? Well, we're gonna find out right now. And to grill this beautiful steak is actually very tricky. The most important thing you gotta keep in mind is to move the steak. Anytime you have flare-ups, you gotta move it real quick. And keep flipping it as many times as needed. But how about I stop talking about it and just show you? So now I say it is enough talking and it is time to cook this beautiful steak. So let's do it.
Yeah, let's go ahead and do this thing. Let's see that Wagyu. Let's see that Kobe beef get nice and charred and stuff. I feel like not being fully hydrated is making me more tired. That's a lot of fat in there. But it's the good kind of fat.
Before moving forward, I would like to thank today's sponsor, Bright Cellars. I mean, I drink wine, I cook with
Oh, of
wine.
course it's a wine
is just
cellar.
Wonderful. And with Bright Cellars, you get a wine box experience that will match you to wines that you will absolutely love. It's simple. You take a quiz with simple questions for you. For example, what type of chocolate do you like? Bingo. And you pair it up with a box of 6 wonderful wines. I mean, they show up right at your door. These are amazing wines from around the world matched to you, and you don't even need to leave your house to get them. This one right here, I am enjoying the subtle flavors. It's called Dead Stars and Black Holes. But in a few minutes, I'm gonna be making an incredible pen sauce with this one right here. I mean, I just love some amazing, perfectly matched wine, man. If you want to enjoy this experience, Bright Cellars is giving all of my viewers 50% off their first 6-bottle box. Just go to brightcellars.com/Guga to get that 50% off your first box. The link is on the description down below. Now go get yourself that discount. Thank you, Bright Cellars, for sponsoring this video. Guys, I'm gonna go back to this wonderful wine so that you can get right back to the video. And let me tell you, that is nice, man. All right, everybody, here we have our beautiful feast today, Mamao. Steak and eggs.
Weird feast today. Huh?
Why?
Because what the heck is this?
You don't like the black egg, Mamao?
What the heck is
That's
that?
a weird egg, everybody. I'm telling you right now. But to
Okay.
make it up for it, we got a Japanese Wagyu A5 Kobe beef, Mamao. Kobe beef, everybody.
That's gonna be good.
Are you ready, Mamao?
Oh my god, my mouth can't stop watering.
I feel like I'm talking too much. I recommend you grab a little piece of Wagyu. Huh?
Hi, how are you?
Which one you want to go for first?
I don't know. You're the host, so you guide me through this culinary adventure over here.
Well, I say that this one right here, what that is, see, I already broke the yolk for you. It is a little bit of a cured egg yolk with soy sauce.
Okay.
So mix it up a little bit like that. Put a little bit of your Wagyu in there and just try it and let me know if it's good. Cheers, everybody. Wow.
Wow.
That is amazing.
Wow.
Creamy.
Oh my God.
Soy sauce is incredible. A little look at Mama going for seconds already. You didn't even care about the Wagyu,
No,
Mama.
no. The creamy egg with the sticky rice.
I know, it's
Wow.
amazing.
The fattiness of the.
That's how the Japanese
egg
have it.
with
Hey,
the
what's up,
stickiness,
Rohan?
Dry, like dryness of the rice.
It's perfect. It's just perfect, everybody.
And then you throw the fatness of the Wagyu on top of it to complement everything.
It's like an amazing combination. I'm telling you right now, soy sauce cured egg yolk, definitely a winner, everybody. Big
Oh my
champ
God.
right
I
here.
could eat a whole Wagyu.
I know, right? It's amazing.
It's that good.
Okay, I say we go for the weird stuff, huh? Let's go. Food needs to be appetizing. If it's not appetizing, you're not gonna go for it. This one does not look that appetizing to me.
I mean, it looks intriguing.
You know what it looks like? Honestly, Halloween. Well, you guys saw the trouble that I went to make this egg here. Black egg whites.
I need more Wagyu.
Mama, you ate the whole Wagyu. Mama, don't play,
I
everybody.
told you, I can't eat the whole Wagyu by
Mama,
myself with that.
don't play with the Wagyu. I'm telling you right now. Black eggs with Wagyu, everybody. Cheers.
I mean, it's a little bit saltier, but
It just tastes like a regular
like a
egg.
regular egg.
Yeah. There's no difference.
let me try by itself.
Try by itself, Mama. Is it?
Oh, it's just the black.
Really? It's different?
It has a little hint of the little seafood
Really?
in the beginning, just a little bit, just a little whiff.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Little
But it-
fishy.
but it doesn't change the egg at all.
but it's very little.
Very little.
Almost nothing. There's no difference at all. All right. Now you guys know that I had to put quite a bit extra because I wasn't getting the black, Mama. It was keep coming white, white, white. I said, no, I want black, man. Come on. This is good, but there's nothing special about it. It's just a black egg with a yellow egg yolk, and it tastes like an egg. It doesn't do anything different for you.
Listen, if you want to repeat the flavor of this, fry some shrimp on a pan.
Yeah.
And take them out and then fry the egg on it.
Yeah, exactly.
That's about as much as you get.
Not worth you spending the money for the ink, everybody. All right? Let's go for the next one, Mama.
I want to go for this one.
I know. This one look good, huh? Look at my mouth.
That looks promising.
It smells amazing, everybody. Okay, let's go with this one here with the salsita. Don't forget the salsita, Mama, aka the sauce. Cheers, everybody. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. That is phenomenal.
Wow.
You know what it is? The soy sauce, the acidity, you know, fights the Wagyu, and it just makes a wonderful experience, everybody. It is 100 times better than all the other ones. I'm telling you right now. What do you think, Mama?
I don't know if it's 100 times better than that one.
Really?
50 times.
It is better. Huh?
It is better. It is better.
It is better. The thing is that all these little extra spiciness or little things there, the little vegetables.
The little vegetables.
Yeah.
They add a little bit extra flavor on top of it.
Yeah.
So it does make a difference.
Absolutely. We got the very last one, Mama. You already know how this one works. You just shave it right on top, everybody. That's all you got to do. I'll do you the honors, Mama Zing.
All right.
Shave, shave, shave. Let's see if this cured egg yolk can actually beat that one. You ready?
Let's do it.
Let's find out. Cheers, everybody. Too creamy.
The fat from the Wagyu.
Of course, it's too
The
creamy.
creaminess of the thing, and it's really good, but it's missing more.
The acidity from this stuff here.
It's missing more variety.
Yeah, the acidity from this thing is a better combination.
Yes, actually, the cured egg yolk cuts a little bit of the richness of the Wagyu, but it has its own richness, so your taste buds get like
confused. It's too much.
It's too much.
Your body can't handle it, okay?
That's understandable.
Basically what we're trying to say. We can't handle it. It's too much.
Now, with this one over here.
Look at you. Look at you going for it. I already know which one is your
look
favorite,
at it.
Mama.
Look, this is gonna be my favorite. There's no question about it.
Absolutely. This one here is the best. It is our favorite. I
Can't go wrong with
recommend
it.
you give this one a
Can't
try.
go wrong with an
Even if
Asian
you don't have a Japanese Wagyu
soft-boiled
Kobe beef,
egg.
Give it a try. This time
I'll make some of those sometime.
You will love it. I guarantee you.
Honestly.
If you love eggs, you will like this one. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you do enjoy this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up. If you're not a subscriber, be sure to subscribe for future videos. Remember, if you are interested in anything I use, everything's always in the description down below. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you guys on the next one. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.
All right, let's go ahead and okay, so we still have some time before the next Stream Raiders battle. Oh, I'm actually interested in this because I'm a brownie fanatic, and I tasted everyone's fudgy brownies, 100 hours, tasty, binging with Babish. Honestly, when it comes to like making a brownie recipe, it all varies between fudgy, cakey, and somewhere in between that you got somehow. Like, not just the portion of ingredients, but it's a very precise recipe that I haven't really, I haven't completely mastered to this very day. But I am a sucker for brownie for sure. The dry ingredients for brownie mixtures in stores are all proportioned and set for you already, so you don't have to deal with the hassle of going back and forth and measure out the right amount of ingredients yourself. You know, it's just complete hogwash, complete nonsense. To this day, I'm still trying to perfect my own brownie recipe and following a bunch of different recipes on the internet. I think the most successful one I made is a black bean brownie, even though it was kind of fudgy, but it also felt very meaty, very very meaty, very I'm trying to remember. Yeah, it tasted healthy, that's for sure, because black bean brownie, it's full of proteins. So I mean, it's not disgusting, Drac, but handling black beans is disgusting. I will admit that. I made it on stream before too. Let me just double check this web static camp thing. I think it's probably still going to run very slow on this computer because just because. Oh no, this dude fell. Yeah, I don't know why this website like takes up so much. It uses up so much stuff on your computer, whether it be memory or CPU or GPU stuff. They need to have the website stop doing this. All right, so what recipes am I missing? What if I do, let's see. Two buckets. Hey, let's go. All right. Oh, shoot, nice. Yo, give me these 30 gems. I need every single gem I can save.
So, why did Adepti...
So why did Adepti make these realms?
A long time ago, the world was in tumult, and finding half a day or so of peace was a much-needed good. But such realms and the departures from the world they provide are only temporary. I haven't heard from the previous owner of this realm for a long time. Perhaps they no longer require such a moment of peace.
Let's go to our battle in the meantime, and hopefully we can win this one. Probably might hop into a bit of Genshin, honestly. If any buddies are online, I could use a... Would be lovely to get into a golden house. Let's see. Alright, I think we're just gonna go ahead and... Looks like we got the crew over here. Let's get it going. Oh no, the rogues are just standing there. No, not the rogues, no. This one goes out to Rohan. Alright, so for this one, this is Taming Grounds. I think I'll probably place in... Let me see. There's orcs over here. Actually, I'll save the orcs for the next level. We're gonna go ahead and put down a... centurion over here, I suppose. Alright, folks, y'all know what to do. Okay, so there's the stool. Oh shoot, their next furniture is coming up. I need 5 more recipes. What if I do 2 pieces of... Hold on. Is that possible? Did I not do that recipe yet? 2 pieces of wool and 1 bucket of water. So this is wood, bucket, water. Wood, bucket, water. So I did wood, bucket, water. I did wood, bucket, wool. Wait, how about wool? What did I do? Yeah, I did wood, bucket, water. And I did wood, bucket, wool. Water, bucket, wool? This should be a new this should be a new furniture. I think I already do 2 pieces of wool and 1 piece of wood. Yeah, that's a multi-purpose pot. That's already a recipe we did. Hey, thank you for the epic rogue, Zero's Theory. Be nice to get 30 more gems and a bed. I'll go ahead and save these materials for tomorrow. There's no rush to actually make a make another schematic if I'm not going to get another reward, honestly. Plus, we still have, like, what, 4 days left of this? We'll be able to get this done. Let's return inside and decorate the Hilichurlian home for a quick sec. So we're going to place that there. We're going to place this flower here. We'll place the rug over here. We'll place the shelf over here. Place that over here. Yeah, they do have us make, they do have us wait for that long. On top of a very slow-running website, unfortunately. I'm gritting my teeth right now. I'm gritting my teeth. Yeah, these expressions are completely beta level. Let's go ahead and watch this video in the meantime.
What's going on, peeps? Welcome back to another episode of No Matter How These Rankings Go, cue 3 angry comments. I gave you guys 5 options on my Instagram story, of course.
Yep, the rewards will get integrated. I just need to do the web static thing. It's a daily login thing that we do for Genshin. And once we get updated to the new version, we're going to have our player housing and we can finally chop down trees and deforest our maps. For the sake of building our best houses.
You voted for everybody's fudgy brownies, and yes, I did see all of your angry DMs in response to these poll results, but this channel is based off peer pressure, so what the hell you want me to do? Some of these recipes look absolutely insane, so I'm gonna be really interested to see how this one goes. We've got Tasty's fudgy brownies, Alvin's 100-hour brownies, Claire's malted forever brownies, and then Babish's melty fudgy brownies as well. Let's queue up the Brownie King chalkboard, and let's get right into this one. If you have been a viewer of the channel for any amount of time, you would know that one of my all-time favorite recipes I've ever made is Tasty's fudgy brownies, so I figured that was a perfect place to start. You will need some granulated sugar and Dutch processed cocoa powder, some kosher salt and AP flour, vanilla extract and some unsalted butter, a couple of eggs, and
Alright, so pause the video for a quick second. You guys see how amazing that they've actually slapped this font on the Dutch cocoa powder? They couldn't do anything consistent with their labeling. This is kind of amusing me. I mean, like, yo, this is a font that you could pick out in Microsoft Word, and they just decided to make the labeling so inconsistent. But look at this in comparison to Morton over here. Well, then again, Morton has inconsistent fonts as well, but there's a lot of space here. What are you doing with your labeling?
Salt and AP flour, vanilla extract and some unsalted butter, a couple of eggs, and 8 ounces of dark chocolate. I've honestly lost count at this point, but I'm pretty sure this is the 5th or 6th time I'm making this recipe on the channel because it is that good. It's not just one of my favorite brownie or dessert recipes, it is legitimately like top 3 recipes out of all of them I've ever made on this channel.
That's a random article I was reading. I keep on forgetting I turn off my mic. David's known to repeat a lot of different recipes on his channel, particularly a lot of tasty dessert videos in which he's satisfied by. So he already knows the result of this one, but he still would do the recipe regardless for demonstration purposes. But still, this is a pretty interesting episode because there's going to be different quantities of literally like mostly the same ingredients over and over, or the addition of other ingredients that I guess are supposed to elevate your brownie recipe. So
it's super quick and simple to make. I've got it committed to memory, basically, by now, because it's that easy. And that tasty video, in general, is just so nostalgic from me, from the duration, it being 1 minute, to the music and the video style. I feel like my BuzzFeed test series kind of peaked around that time. And this is going to be a constant theme with all of these recipes, but especially with this one, there's so few ingredients that if you spend a couple extra dollars on higher quality chocolate and butter, you'll be able to tell in the final product. And is anybody surprised this one came out perfectly? It smells and looks amazing. I will be absolutely shocked if any of the other recipes beat this.
You guys couldn't see it, but
looks amazing.
Ooh, okay, it's literally behind my chair, so let me just go ahead and make myself poof for a second so you guys can see what the heck I'm looking at. That corner. David. I know putting the batter into the pan. I know putting the batter into the pan is tedious. It's frustrating, but man, this corner, what a miserable looking corner right here. And he video edited.
I will be absolutely.
I'm glad he picked it up, but man, that's an oof to that corner.
Shocked if any of the other recipes beat this one today, but just for the fun of it, let's give it a try. Just the smell of these, man. It's just so nostalgic. It's kind of magic how amazing these are in less than an hour. The salt is right there. The chocolate and cocoa flavor is just right in the forefront. If brownies are here and like fudge is over here, these things are right smack in the middle. Amazing, incredible, delicious, whatever other adjective you want to come up with. If they get knocked off the top spot, I will be very shocked. Next up today, we've got Binging with Babish's, quote, melting chewing gum fudgy brownies. And for those, I grabbed some granulated sugar and cocoa powder, unsalted butter and bread flour, some kosher salt and baking powder, espresso powder and 6 ounces of dark chocolate, 6 eggs, some vanilla paste, and vegetable oil.
Let me see what we're looking at here. So just about the same stuff. I 100% endorse using espresso because adding a coffee-related component really bumps up the cocoa, like the cocoa or chocolate flavor profile of any chocolate dessert. Vanilla bean paste is a pretty interesting choice here, and vegetable oil, I can see that happening. Vegetable oil tends to add more moisture to a lot of baked desserts. Yeah, that's all literally going to get pushed off the table. Also, fun fact I just noticed with the web event. So, with the web event, apparently I can literally click on the recipes and it will just tell me, oh, like these is, you're literally missing something, like one component as to what you should make in order to make the thingy that you want to make. So, yeah, that's a pretty nice hint over there. I didn't notice that before. Anyways, back to seeing what Babish's brownies look like.
Right off the bat, I love the addition of the espresso powder because it works so well with dark chocolate. Those flavors just get along and hype each other up like no other. This recipe was designed for a 9 by 13 inch pan rather than an 8 by 8 square pan. That's why there's a lot of eggs and a lot of the other ratios seem a little bit crazy. And I guess the most interesting part of this, and something I never thought of before, is that with the introduction of the bread flour and then that vigorous whisking of all of your ingredients, he's actually wanting to create some gluten here. I've always been in the habit of just barely working in your dry ingredients as to not create that tough, chewy texture, but that's precisely what we're going for here, so it'll be an interesting contrast. This guy is going to get baked in a 350 degree oven for just 25 minutes compared to the 30 with the last recipe. And again, this is on purpose because Babish loves his brownies borderline raw, and I'm kind of in the same boat as him, as gross as that may sound. Much like a lot of pies...
It's freaking raw, mate, you donkey. Hey, what's up, Vin? Oh my god, you have a very fancy name, Vicente San Miguel. Is this about food? I just found this in my recommendations for Stream Raiders. I mean, we like to watch gaming and food videos when we're playing Stream Raiders. If you do play Stream Raiders, that's what the game category is right now. But yeah, every time anyone who's new to the channel, we give you a very, very warm
welcome
to the fun zone. Because we're all, well, it's welcome to the fun zone because we're all fun guy here. Get it? Get it? I'ma shut up. Wait, Drac, you recognize this dude? Yo, what's with the fancy name? And you've been, how'd you find me? See, the jokesvic will never get it. Oh my god. There's no way you could be that thick-brained to not get the pun. Honestly, it's just it's a mushroom joke. Unless you're not, unless you've grown up not knowing how to comprehend jokes. Which is understandable, I suppose. I couldn't be, you can't make everybody laugh in the entire world, so... Yeah. Sadly, we are friends.
Or even some cookies. You don't want to bake brownies until the pan is completely firm, because by that point it's just overcooked and dry. You want to yank it when it's still jiggly, let that butter and chocolate come down back to room temperature and set up, and you will be left with the most ideal brownie texture, and this recipe is no different. I had to adjust my camera to show you how delicious and fudgy this looks, because it was kind of hard to see it in the last shot. Look at that. Now I look like Casper the Ghost. So this is good. It's got really good flavor with the espresso and the different kind of chocolates in there. The texture, more so the dryness, is a little bit off-putting. I think almost the espresso and maybe the working of the bread flour kind of leaves like a drying sensation in your mouth. It's kind of weird though, because when you first bite it, it doesn't read as dry at all. It's after you finish chewing and swallow, it kind of leaves like a dry after feeling. I don't know. It's not bad at all, but Tasty doesn't have to start sweating yet. Third in the ring today is Claire Saffitz's Malted Forever Brownies, and for those you'll have to...
Whoa, presentation. Ah, that looks pretty interesting. This has got to be like, I can't tell if it's nuts or if it's chocolates, my dude. But I've seen brownies that are like that before, but I literally cannot tell what the heck we're looking at over here. Yeah, you can tell, just be careful, Drac, when you're telling, let us know. I'm sure you enjoyed it, but I think you probably, maybe low-key, you did fall asleep, honestly. Low-key, you never know. I mean, it's understandable if you fell asleep or not. That's understandable. But this weekend is for movies, and we're going to be having a Oh yeah, friendly reminder, folks, that we do have a movie night tomorrow in the in the Discord server. We're going to be watching the Mortal Kombat movie. Drac is actually going to be hosting the evening screening, and we're going to have our fellow moderator, Hotbox of Fun. He's going to host the daytime screening. So that should be quite fun. That should be quite fun.
Is Claire Saffitz's
Just be careful what you're saying, Drac, because we don't want to spoil too much.
Malted Forever Brownies, and for those you'll have to grab some granulated sugar and Dutch processed cocoa powder, kosher salt and all-purpose flour, malted milk powder and grapeseed oil, some milk chocolate and vanilla extract, 3 eggs, some boiling water, dark brown sugar, a bar of dark chocolate, and some unsalted butter.
So, malted milk powder with grapeseed oil. Okay, so that's to substitute vegetable oil. We got the chocolate chips in here and some brown sugar. I can get behind brown sugar. Hot boiling water, I think I could get behind.
Now, if anybody is going to take down Tasty and put up an amazing baking recipe, Claire is definitely one of the ones for the job. From ingredients to methodology, Claire just knows her stuff better than anybody. She's just so talented and happy and cheerful, and Claire, I love you. As for the brownies, though, the unique parts of this one is, firstly, that cocoa powder is going to get bloomed in that boiling water. Also, we're going to be using a double boiler for the first few ingredients, so you're going to have to transfer it to a heat-proof bowl, dummy, creating even more dirty dishes for yourself to clean later. And then later, we're going to be adding in that grapeseed oil and the malted milk powder, presumably for a cool, unique little flavor accent. I have created and eaten dozens of recipes with malted milk powder in it, and I still have no idea what it is. I did want to note that I'm trying to maintain a nice baseline of standard ingredients throughout all these recipes. You know, the flour and sugars, even the cocoa powder and the brand of dark chocolate. I feel like having all of those be constants and then isolating the different variables will help me better differentiate and pick out my favorites throughout all this.
One thing I want to commentate is that when he's adding in the dry ingredients, he probably should still take the measure of sifting in, which is you're using if you guys don't know what a sifter is, or if you don't know what the heck sifting is, it's basically you pour in your dry ingredients through this tool that will make it much more fine and more minuscule, so that way the main advantage is that you don't have any lumps in your batter when you're mixing in the dry ingredients and the wet ingredients. This is something that I've tend to be doing like most of the time when I'm making sweets and desserts, baking stuff.
We try to be very scientific here on the David Seymour channel, especially when it comes to baking recipes like a fluffy pancake. These guys get thrown down into some foil in an 8x8 square pan and then baked off at 350 degrees for about 25 to 28 minutes until the top looks nice and crackly. And then finally, we can give the third contestant today a shot.
This is weird. This is very weird because the chocolate chips are not melted. This is something very interesting.
As good as these look, the little chocolate chips in there kind of trigger me, because whenever I'd see a dessert like this as a kid, I just immediately think I can't eat it because it looks like some kind of nut or weird candy that I couldn't eat. But
yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying. Bruh, this is exactly what I'm saying. They're not melted. Why are they not melted?
Between Reese's, Snickers, Three Musketeers, Kit Kats, and most desserts, I couldn't eat many sweets as a kid.
The texture's gotta be right.
Whoa. I don't think I'd be able to tell you that there was malted milk powder in here, but immediately you can kind of tell there's a little something extra going on, and I really like it. The texture is on point. They're very similar to Tasty's. This is just me being very picky, but the only part I don't love is the exterior where it was contacting the tinfoil. I feel like it kind of got like a weird, denser, almost tougher outer layer to chew through rather than being like kind of crispy and snappy. It's more like firm. When you chew on it, there's resistance. It's weird. But because of that, the time, and then the milk chocolate being a little on the sweet side, I think these are just barely gonna slide in under Tasties. They were closer than I thought they were gonna be, though. Last, and honestly most, are Alvin's 100-hour fudgy brownies. And you will need some cocoa powder,
This is gonna take the
and
longest.
salt, some espresso powder and milk chocolate, granulated sugar and unsalted butter, vanilla paste, a coffee ice cube, a couple of eggs, an entire pantry's worth of dark chocolate, and then some all-purpose flour that I forgot to put in the initial shot.
The reason why it's called 100 hours is because he's actually aging the brownie dough. So here's the thing. This is something that pizza chefs would do for their pizza dough, is that they would age the dough to develop like the gluten, the yeast, do its work in the fridge over time under cold temperatures and develop the flavor a little bit. Yo, Liam, thank you for the Epic Nightmare Barbarian. So that's what this dude Alvin did. I think he used to work at BuzzFeed, and now he's making his own series. Rip BuzzFeed crew, by the way. So yeah, I know the method of aging the gluten does work for pizza dough. I've done it so many times, and the pizza dough that I made with aged dough is really amazing in comparison to, well, probably on a similar level to like pizza dough I've had when going out. But in desserts, I'm not really 100% on point with this dessert.
Now, being that this is a 100-hour recipe and the day I'm filming this is Thursday, this started back on Sunday, so let me catch you up to speed. This monster starts with some brown butter, espresso powder, and that coffee ice cube, which is a pretty cool trick. It kind of shocks the butter and prevents those little milk solids from burning, and it's also a clever way to save some used coffee if you make too big of a pot.
Another thing with brown butter is that brown butter is basically butter that you cook down a little bit further till you get like the solid caramel colored, however you pronounce it, milk solids, the little speckles that look like freckles. That actually rhymes. That you see when you're making brown butter. That's him adding the coffee, the espresso powder. And this is actually a pretty cool ingredient that you can use to make a sauce for your steak, or just put it on your steak. It works in some desserts as well. The main issue with brown butter is that it takes away a lot of moisture. So, thank you, Matthew, for the Epic Nightmare Warrior. So if you're using brown butter in a dessert, the main risk you're running is making your dessert way too dry, because you've cooked out a lot of the water content in butter to make brown butter. However, because of the use of Alvin's use of coffee ice cubes in this, as David said, to shock the butter, you're bringing back some moisture while maintaining the flavor profile of butter. So if anybody wants to use brown butter in desserts, they literally have to compensate that with a new source of moisture for said butter. This is something I haven't really put together now because I watched Alvin's 100-hour brownie video some time ago. But when David explains it this way, and plus, David is not the most he's not the most cinema savvy person when it comes to making his cooking videos. He just holds a camera in place of what literally is going on in front of you, in the most unedited shots as possible. A lot of professional video makers use specific camera settings and edit their videos with specific settings to make it look a lot more professional. David is just David, so.
Powder and that coffee ice cube, which is a pretty cool trick. It kind of shocks the butter and prevents those little milk solids from burning, and it's also a clever way to save some used coffee if you make too big of a pot. The rest of this batter comes together relatively simply, and in case you haven't already seen Alvin's video, number one, I highly recommend you go watch it, because that thing is a masterpiece. It's an emotional experience. And number two, this entire batter comes together, gets plopped down into another 9x13 pan, and then sits in the fridge for 3 full days. It doesn't help that my memory is deteriorating to begin with, but I'm pretty certain...
This is the sifter I'm talking about. This is the thing that you would use to actually properly add in your dry ingredients with to reduce lumping in your batter, because the last thing you want to do is just get clumps and lumps in your batter that you have to smooth out yourself. Doing this actually reduces the step of doing any extra mixing to get rid of any lumps to begin with, because one of the main issues with desserts is that you don't want to overwork your dough. If you overwork your dough, you're adding in too much air, and depending on what you're making, that can actually ruin or benefit the result of whatever you're baking. So baking is a lot more precise than savory cooking on the stovetop.
That this is the
Or
longest
roasting.
recipe I have ever made. I know I've made some pizza doughs and some other fermenty recipes that have taken like a couple days, but 100 hours or 4.5 days, I think that takes the cake. I would love to be able to ask Alvin about some of the steps in this one, such as the order in which these ingredients go into this bowl. I wouldn't really think to sift dry ingredients and then dump all that hot butter and melted chocolate on top. And in the same breath, how he discovered that dumping all that hot fat in there doesn't result in a greasy end product. Because on my first watch through of this video, I thought that would be the case, but based on his final products, it doesn't appear to be. But like I said, this batter gets thrown in the fridge for 3 days to let the flavors fully develop before it gets pulled out, thrown into a 350 degree oven for about a half hour, and then unfortunately wrapped up with some foil while it's still hot, and then placed back in the fridge for another full day. I'd like to take this moment to apologize to all my family members who have been smelling brownies for 3 days straight. But based on the looks of this one after cutting it, and the fact that I have 4 trays of leftover brownies, I don't feel all that bad. So let's give our 4th and final recipe on the day a try.
Also, if you think this is going to be Food Wars, you're missing the high flashy typical anime shots, the anime expressions, people becoming naked after eating food, and the much over dramatic, over the top music. This is simply filthy casual in comparison to how anime works, dude. I'm also just a food nerd because I'm a dude who's watched a lot of Gordon Ramsay show, Food Network shows growing up since elementary school, middle school, from like the early 2000s. So I'm kind of a food whiz out of anybody else who tries to make something in the kitchen. Because I love to study the science and the preparation of food, as well as eating a lot of different types of food. I'm just that kid, that dude.
That's not a money shot right there, with that chocolate drizzling down. I do not know what is.
I just realized like what he really is missing, honestly, is seeing that if any of the brownie mixtures actually work well with ice cream. But then I realized, like, out of amongst all the other people on the internet, David is lactose intolerant, so I will give him that exception. Dude is lactose intolerant, so ice cream or not, I think you should be able to enjoy the recipe regardless.
I'm respecting the author of this recipe, Alvin, and eating it the same way he was. So cheers, everybody. Wow, my first reaction is I'm kind of blown away by how cohesive and one this flavor is. There's so much that went into this, between the brown butter, the espresso powder, even the coffee ice cube, the insane amount of dark chocolate. It all tastes like one, like nothing stands out more than another. It is insanely smooth and velvety and rich. If there was photos in the dictionary next to those 3 adjectives, I would assume this brownie would be the one. And now the $1 million question, is it worth 4 days and some odd hours? I don't know. I'd be curious to bake off one immediately after making the batter, and then bake one like a day after making it in the fridge, and then compare it to this, because I'm sure the time in the fridge definitely helped all those flavors mellow out and become one. But it's a long time. It took me an entire week. I think what this is going to come down to, if time and money is no object for you, then yeah, this one's the best. Flavor-wise, texture-wise, it'll get the first spot. If you're not able to spend 4 days and like $25 on chocolate, then it's probably not the one for you. Either way, insanely delicious, and it was a pretty good day for me, so thanks everybody. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, leave me a big old like. Let me know which video you'd like to see as the topic of the next Mega Versus episode, and drop some names of maybe some chefs that I haven't tried out yet. Other than that, have a fantastic weekend, and I will see you right back here next time. Peace.
I wonder if any of the, because I rarely ever see any of the, except for I feel like the BuzzFeed people always are responsive to David trying out the recipes, but nobody else is for some reason. Let me see. When did David upload this? Oh, he uploaded this today. Because I feel like when it comes to David's own videos of making food, he only gets recognized by BuzzFeed and nobody else. Well, I'm sure Joshua Weissman would give a major thanks to David, because the way Joshua makes his food videos is from his own home kitchen as well. But I guess because he went to film school and whatnot, he's able to do his own, I guess, special cinematography with B-roll. So yeah, that's my perspective. Anyways, let's go ahead and check out Stream Raiders real quick so we can go ahead and do another round or two before I guess I'll swap over to Genshin, since I did my daily login stuff for Genshin Impact to get my daily login thingamajiggy prizes. Yeah, sometimes with David, he does have his family helping him sometimes. But yeah, Josh does have his own crew. He's also owned a restaurant too, so he has his own professional homies to help him on the cinematography. And that's the difference between, like, I could make my own kind of content like that on the similar level to David, but the main thing is that it takes like a major amount of dedication and passion and whatnot into the project, and I've lost a lot of that for me. Anywho, we got 22 units on the battlefield. This tower is about to get yeeted. These guys are about to get yeeted. And yeah, let's go ahead and... I think we could just go ahead and debuff these guys over here. Alright, here we go, folks. I'll use the bathroom in the meantime. We got Maffy, Leo, Rohan, and Drax troopers out on the field. If anybody wants to go ahead and get into the next battle, we'll go ahead and do that for everybody once we finish this one. I'll use the bathroom real quick, and let's yeet these jerks out of here. Well, that was pretty quick. Oh, you need to go now, Vince? Hey, Vincente, if you want to catch me again and chill with us again, don't forget to drop in the follow. I definitely would appreciate that, because if Drax here, it would be nice to have you here. It's very nice to meet you, and if you'd like to join our movie night for tomorrow night, we're gonna be on the Discord server. Thank you so much, my dude. Thank you so much. I am officially now a talking chair. And as always, thank you so much for stopping on by today. It was nice to meet you. Hope the rest of your pandemic life goes really well. And well, I guess we'll catch you next time, my dude. We'll definitely catch you next time. And as always,
welcome
to the fun zone. Anyways, Alright, so does anybody want a paladin scroll? Let me know. We have Leon, Maffy, Drac here. If he wants a paladin scroll, do let me know. I just need to use the restroom, and I'll be right back and play some chill music in the meantime. Alright, I have returned. Alright, so I guess I'm gonna go ahead and raffle off the, I'll go ahead and raffle off the Paladin Scrolls, because nobody spoke up in the chat. Hey, what do you know? It goes to Maffy and Leon, apparently. Alright, let's do this one next. And then for this one, I'm going to go ahead and place down my Orc Slayer. Alright, I'm gonna pop up on Genshin for a little bit. So we're gonna make that the next category for tonight. So might as well get my what is it, my requests and bounties out of the way if I'm not doing anything else.